This is going to be a special episode of Bug Hugs. We are out on location. It's called Blue Moon Cycle. Wow, where do I start? You have like all the old bikes in Georgia.
I think we are the biggest in Georgia, maybe in the U.S.
This is a museum, or is this a private collection, or are things for sale?
Everything here is for sale.
As I think I know or understand something, I see another inventor or daredevil or whatever you want to call him do something else.
You know, I like bikes that have a story.
Yeah.
And this bike's got a great story.
Okay.
This is a 1925 BMW R 37.
And it's for sale?
It is for sale.
What? How are you selling this?
It's very pricey. And
totally worth it. I mean,
this is the first overhead valve, and they built this for racing.
Wow.
They only built a few hundred of them. They were probably the most expensive motorcycle you could buy in Germany at the time.
Wow.
And they did compete with these. And this one is restored probably better than the day it left the factory.
Hand shifting?
Yes, hand shift.
2 tanks?
Yes, this is an auxiliary tank. This is would be for a longer distance race.
How do I see this and I don't quite understand it. Some motorcycles are usually vertical like mine is, but then you have these that go out. Is it a box motor? How does that work?
Well, they call it a boxer, but
okay.
I call it, or I think a better term is opposed twin.
Oh, opposed twin, yes.
And it's a 2-cylinder. The cylinders oppose each other. And there's a couple advantages to that. One is it keeps the weight very low. Low center of gravity is desirable.
Okay.
It's better for cooling because the air is directly on the cylinders.
Oh yeah, it makes
equally.
sense. The fans right by, yeah.
And the pistons go in and out opposed to each other, so they are self-canceling on vibration.
I see.
So it's the smoothest kind of motor.
Nice.
It's the lowest center of gravity. It's the best cooled motor.
Oh, because it's going right, left.
It's not going like that. It's going like that.
Oh, like this, like an accordion.
Yeah.
Okay.
They should call it an accordion rather than a boxer.
Yeah, or a squeeze box.
That's how they get the name.
To be an accordion.
Yeah, you're right.
I'm going to write a letter to BMW, let them know.
Exactly.
This is awesome. You're right. I'm glad we didn't miss this.
So my
beautiful
intention is to, in the next weeks, to bring this to the Barber Museum.
Oh, yeah.
Because it really, it ought to be in their museum.
This bike is gorgeous. Shall we continue into Indian land?
Sure, sure. Royal Indians here.
Including your own Indian cigar statue, which I think
the statue came with this motorcycle.
Oh, okay.
And this guy had a big Indian collection, 30 or so, in Charleston.
This is his bike.
I was at a party, a garage party in Charleston, and I met this guy, and he's like, yeah, I used to have Indians. Of course, my first question is, well, do you have any left? He said, well, I have 3 or 4. And then I'm like, well, can I come look at them? So the next day I went to his house, and he had this and 3 others, and he had the Indian, the cigar store Indian, and I managed to buy 2 of the bikes and the statue. And the interesting story on the statue, he lived on an oceanfront property. This was on his deck. I guess it was like on the first floor or something.
Okay.
The hurricane came, washed the Indian out to the ocean. 3 days later, he found the Indian floating in the harbor.
Wow.
And pulled it out of the water and took it back home. And
it's an Indian Ocean.
It still looks great, exactly.
So he's gone out, he's come back, and he loves his bike, and he stays with the bike.
Right.
That's pretty awesome. Also for sale?
No, I kind of want to keep this.
I would keep it. Yeah, I would be like, John, come on, we have to talk.
This is a 31, I think a 31 101 Scout.
Wow.
And the 101 Scout, most Indian aficionados would say was the best motorcycle Indian ever made.
I see.
Known for very stable handling, and therefore it was the bike of choice for the wall of death.
Yes.
And if you ever see a wall of death that's worth its salt, it's running a 101 Scout.
So my cousins do the ball of death.
The globes.
Yeah, they do 2 bikes like this and like this, and sometimes they do 3 people.
That, to me, I don't understand how they do that. I do not understand that.
Timing, and maybe they close your eyes sometimes.
Yeah.
This is beautiful. So this is like the grandfather to my Scout, right? This is
correct.
10 years prior
Correct.
to it. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's
so much more complicated. I think there's so many more things.
Fun to ride, nice running bike. You know, these things top out about 50 miles an hour, but.
And that's about my speed. Like maybe even 35, I'm good. Like I just want to have a good time.
Just for riding around town, it's great.
Cool. Very cool. Mm-hmm. Newer Indian.
Yeah, this is,
wow, big
I want
bike.
to say 51.
Okay.
And Another good story on this one. This I bought from a gentleman in Tennessee. A friend told me about it. He said there's a guy in Tennessee, he's got an Indian and a Harley, and he wants $50,000 and he'll only take cash.
I like this guy.
And because when you hear these stories, you can't wait.
No.
You know, so I immediately got in the car. Didn't believe me when I showed up that anybody had just word of mouth would show up with the cash to buy his bikes.
John's serious. John shows up to your house, he's buying your motorcycle, just so you know. You have no choice. Sell it to him.
When I got there, I could already tell that he really didn't want to sell them. And but he was 80 years old, and he was riding this bike the day I bought it. So I'll give him credit for that.
Wow. Yeah, this is beautiful. The red is just, on camera, I don't know if it does it justice, but it's gorgeous.
Well, actually, I don't like the color.
Oh, really?
No, because it's not Indian red.
Oh, that's true.
The bike next to it is Indian red.
I see.
And that's more of a maroon.
Yeah.
Which I like better. But anyway.
Yeah. And now you have one of each.
Oh, and here's another interesting thing about Indian colors. Indian was owned by DuPont.
Oh,
so
I know that.
At a certain time period, if you bought an Indian, they would paint it any color that DuPont made. So there's really not an incorrect color for an Indian.
Okay.
Especially during this era, because this was the DuPont era. But
okay, good to know.
This guy rode this bike from Tennessee to Alaska twice. And had the photos to prove it.
Wow.
So,
wow.
That's pretty cool.
That's really, really cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, this one.
This is crazy.
Yeah, this is one of my faves. It's a 1936 Indian Chief.
Okay.
And this bike, the color, the paint is amazing. And believe it or not, this is how it left the factory.
Oh.
This is a stock standard color scheme.
Wow. It's really cool.
Very high point restoration. This is the judging for criteria for antique motorcycles, especially American motorcycles, is the Antique Motorcycle Club of America.
Okay.
And you can take this to one of their events and you can have your bike judged, and you can have it judged 3 times, and every time it has to show an improvement over the last time.
Okay.
It's almost impossible to get 100 points on your first judging because they're going to find something.
Yes, that's their job.
It could be the caps on the valve stem of the tire, if they're not correct.
That guy.
Yeah, and there's, of course, people that pride themselves in finding a flaw with your motorcycle and judging. But this bike has been judged 3 times, and it's got the highest score you can go, which is called Winner's Circle.
Amazing.
So this is a Winner's Circle bike, which means the foremost experts in the world deem this bike to be about as correct as it can be.
Wow. So is that considered like the Concours d'Elegance type of situation?
Exactly.
Yeah. So talk to me about this horn. So I have a horn on my bike.
That's the Indian headdress horn.
But my horn says Moto something else. It's not this horn.
No, they've changed through the years.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I really like it, but I always thought he was a little sad looking. So I'm going to stick with my Indian. Right. This guy has a bit of a sad face, right? Maybe because he wants to be out riding. But this is a beautiful bike, as you had said.
Yeah. To me, this is for sale, and it's a show bike, a collector bike, a museum piece.
Yeah. Not
something I can get out and enjoy riding.
No.
Because it's going to depreciate as it gets wear and tear.
Every nick, every scratch is like another.
I would prefer an old bike that's a little more scuffed up, or original paint bike.
Yeah.
And this is the bike that I ride, and this is almost the same motorcycle.
Oh, so you ride Indian regularly too?
Oh yeah. This is almost the same motorcycle, but it's not 100-point restoration.
Yeah. I love this bike, John.
Yeah, me too.
Wow. How did you get this bike? What's the story behind it?
This came up at an auction at the Barbary Museum in Alabama.
Wow.
Yeah.
So the only reason why I own a motorcycle is because I think you were out of town. If you were in town and on Marketplace, I think you would have bought my Indian from this guy that's out of town right now. I said, well, if John didn't travel around buying all the other bikes in the world, and I love that you have like this amazing can collection, right? Like all the things, all the display cases. Yeah, just fun stuff. So this is a Norton. I think this is the first Norton I've ever seen in my life, like in real life. Yeah, I've never seen Norton before.
Okay, so this is, these Nortons are electric start, which was at the very end of the Norton era, actually the end of the British bike era. And
Also for sale, I should just ask.
Yeah, I have 2 of them.
I have a friend whose wife is like, "You're not buying a bike."
Right.
So when they watch this, I keep asking that question because every time I hear him going, "Honey, this one's for sale too."
Right.
So you never know. What does a bike like this run?
This bike is 10 grand.
Beautiful, totally beautiful.
I got a better one over there for 12. Same bike.
You can have a choice. You can buy either one you want, or buy them both. You can buy them both, right?
Yeah.
Buy them both.
This bike.
Oh man.
This bike I love, and I love it more now because I went and saw the Bob Dylan
Haven't
movie.
seen it yet.
Oh,
I'm dying to see it.
it's great. You might be a little too young, but it just struck me because that was the era that I became of age. This is the bike that Bob Dylan owned, not this one.
Right.
It's same color, same everything,
Oh,
same model,
wow.
same year, and it's prominent in the movie. This is a joy to ride. It's
This
a
looks
500cc,
gorgeous.
and it's light and it's nimble and it's flickable, and
Wow. When you say flickable, what does that mean?
that means you can just go into corners really easy.
Oh, I
and-
see. Okay.
Yeah. I see why Bob Dylan wrote it, because he wasn't, I don't think, a very good motorcycle rider.
Right.
But it's an easy bike to ride.
Wow.
And I know the guy that provided the bikes for the movie. And
Okay.
He actually made 2 of them for the movie, identical. That's commonly what they do in
Yeah,
case,
of course.
in case one lets them down.
And just for fun, wall art, John?
A couple of Hoffmans, German
Wow.
bikes.
So
They'd probably
cool.
come down and run, but right now we just hung them up.
They're great.
Yeah, nice patinas on them.
Look at the engineering behind. You know what? You want a seat for your friend? Here you go. Like, who? And it even has a suspension. Like, what?
Yep.
It's just a lot.
And then that one over there has still got the old hand shift.
Oh
on the
yeah.
tank.
Cool.
Yeah.
So back to your BMW days, right?
BMW R27.
R27.
250cc single by BMW. This is interesting because the story was a soldier in Vietnam, and he stayed there after the war. He bought the motorcycle, and Vietnam had very cheap chrome plating.
I was going to
So
say the whole tank is
He
chrome.
had the whole bike chrome plating.
Okay, that makes this bike really awesome. So what? Yeah, because why not, right?
Right.
And it's so hot and sunny in Vietnam. I'm sure this thing was just like a big sparkle like, down the road. You couldn't even see it.
Right.
That's awesome. Yeah. Okay, if you can do it, right? Okay. The even nicer.
Yeah, the
Norton?
little bit nicer one. The reason I say nicer is these bikes are valued by their authenticity.
I see.
And this one has a correct exhaust system.
Wow.
That's about the only difference, really.
This is Swiss.
This is my bike. I built kind of a custom. I wanted to make it like a Swiss Army knife
Yeah, it does look like that.
because it's
really
the Swiss
cool.
Army knife of motorcycles.
Okay.
And those are Swiss Army backpacks.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's Golden
cool.
Retriever on there, that fur, so it makes it extra special.
Not real retriever.
No, Golden Retriever.
Yeah. Wow. This is awesome.
Yeah.
How long did this build take you?
About 2 weeks. It's
Wow.
basically an R80 RT. We took the big touring fairing off. I put the tank on. I made the racks and some of the stuff, and then I took it to my powder coater and had. I took a Swiss Army knife with me, and I said I want it that same color as the knife,
Yeah.
and
it's cool.
came out nice.
It's close to that Indian red you were talking about. Like it's
Yeah.
in that family of
You're
the,
right.
of the tone. It's
You're right.
it's really pretty.
It's dirty right now because I
Yeah.
ride it.
Good. Bikes should be ridden. I mean, except for the one over there, which you can never ride. Never ride that bike. Otherwise, yes. What? A trike?
Yeah, this is a police three-wheeler. Harley called them a Servicar.
Okay.
And these were typically for meter maids. And meter maids check the parking meters, and they put a white chalk line on your tire, and they came
Yeah.
back like if it was a limited parking time zone. And consequently, meter maid bikes had a left-hand throttle and the shifter on the right. And
I
the
see that.
The reason is they had to use the chalk stick on their right hand to mark the tires.
So you don't have to get up off the bike.
Right.
You just drive
no,
around it, you're like,
you had
pop,
like a
pop.
5-foot-long stick, and you just marked it like that. The chief of police from Maywood, Illinois, retired. And when he retired, the city gave him this motorcycle, had it restored, and presented it to him for his retirement.
Wow. Wow.
And it is a nice restoration that runs like a new bike and for sale. But this is the again, the WL motor, the Servicar Same flathead motor that you see on the Twins over there.
I love this bike, and I would dress like a meter maid if it meant being able to ride it. I don't care. I'm not above it.
Right.
I would do the thing.
Right.
Yeah. Everywhere you turn, John, there's more bikes. What?
This is special. This should be out in better light. I just got it. This came from the most recent Las Vegas auction.
Okay.
1910 FN, and
Wow.
that is the first 4-cylinder motorcycle, and the fastest motorcycle made in 1910.
This is the oldest bike I've ever seen.
It's the oldest bike I've ever owned.
Okay, well, we're together on that.
Yeah.
That's really
And a
cool.
shaft drive. It was so ahead of its time.
Wow. Wow. And I'm sorry, the origin of the country where it was made? It was
It's FN, Fabrique Nationale, same people that make the guns.
okay.
Belgium.
Belgian bike. It's really cool. It reminds me like a flute or something with all the different valves and
A
everything.
flute, good idea.
Right? Doesn't
Yeah.
it looks like
And
that.
flutes are nickel plated like this one.
Okay. So I'm learning slowly.
That's a brass tank.
at
Brass era for cars and
this little-
motorcycles.
Look at
looks
this little
like.
float bowl. Like this, it's like, it's so cool. And then I guess pedal start maybe?
There's a name for that carburetor, and I forget what it's called. A aspirated carburetor or something. And we just got this in. We haven't got it running yet. I don't understand anything about the carburetor, how it works. We got to get to that.
So if you're an old guy in Belgium, call John up and give him a tutorial if you were around. Look at that.
Yeah.
Awesome
These
bike.
are carbide. This is a carbide headlight.
Yeah.
So you put a carbide pellet in the bottom of it, and it makes acetylene gas. And then there's a wick that you light, and
Right.
it's gas-powered light.
Right. Because
The same thing that the miners had on
Yeah.
their helmets.
really, really cool. Okay, big Indians again, right?
This is the Indian Chief, 1948, and this is also for sale, about the same price as the black one,
Yeah.
same quality.
Proper red though.
Yep, proper Indian red.
Okay, so John's happy with that.
And here's two guys that probably both attempted to make Indian red. But
Oh.
look, this one's a little bit
Yeah.
redder than that one.
Look at that.
I would
Yeah.
call this one correct,
Yeah.
and this guy's a shade off.
Yeah.
They're both immaculate. They both sporting white wall tires, which I do not approve of. But
You're not a white wall guy.
If you want to put white walls on your bike, that's your choice.
White walls on anything or just bikes? Or you don't like white walls?
I don't
altogether?
like them on motorcycles.
Okay, but old cars, what maybe?
If they came from the factory, yes.
Okay.
But
I
they
like the
didn't-
purest thread that I'm finding out about
Yeah,
John
I
here.
mean, you didn't buy a '57 Chevy with white walls at
Right.
the dealership.
Right. No.
So to me, they don't belong.
I always thought white walls were from guys who hugged the curb too much and they took some paint with them. These are great. Look at this. Wow.
That's the
beautiful
Indian
bike.
Scout. No, that's the smaller Scout, the smaller
Okay.
Indian. That's the 750cc.
What year is this bike?
That is 1940,
Okay.
and
So still older than my bike.
yeah, that's
Wow.
the Scout.
Really great. It's a big.
Scouts and Chiefs are almost the same price.
How long do you think it takes to learn shifting with the hand versus the standard?
Some people pick it up fast, and some
yeah,
just can't
some
do
people are
it.
still learning how to shift.
Yeah.
Okay, now we have a Harley orange and black, which is Harley colors, right?
It's Harley colors. This is a 1934 Harley VLD.
This is a great bike.
And it is a great bike. I think this would do very well in AMC judging. In fact, I plan to have it judged if it doesn't sell first. And
And I know you said earlier that motorcycle sales are in decline and the industry on the whole is kind of suffering. And my problem is the new bikes look great, but when
Right.
you look at these older bikes like this,
right,
I don't know. I'm not going to go buy a 2025 Harley when I can buy this
Right.
or this or
Right.
this. I mean, all right, these bikes are amazing, and
Yeah.
and the new technology is great for what it is, but it doesn't feel the same. It certainly doesn't sound the same, right?
You're new to this, and you're unique in that you see the appeal to the old bikes, because most people want everything easy, and new bikes are easier.
Yeah.
Old bikes will make a man out of you.
For the short time that I was able to ride the bike before I took it apart, I'm working on some things. I have had to push it up a hill and push start a couple times.
Right.
And I was like, reminds me of my old Volkswagen Beetle.
Right.
You know, like it kind of air cooled, got the old smell or whatever.
Well, nothing builds appreciation for the internal combustion engine more than having to push a motorcycle a block.
That's right.
Harley and Indian, the two predominant American manufacturers,
Right.
and there were other great ones, Henderson and Excelsior, and
Oh yeah.
you name it. But after World War II, Harley and Indian were the only ones left. And then Indian only lasted until the early 50s.
So another BMW.
Yeah,
with this accordion engine that we now decided.
This is my personal bike again. My favorite, probably if you had to say one motorcycle that I like the best, it's the BMW R 69S.
Okay.
Which is what this is. This is a kind of a touring version that I made out of some of the most desirable parts that I saved from the years. Put them all on this one bike because I found an R69S with 3,000 original miles. So it's one of the probably lowest mileage ones in the world.
Wow.
It's got all the desirable parts on it.
With this color scheme, I feel like it's an old black and white cruiser, you know. For
police bike.
Police bike, right?
Yeah.
That's what it is, right?
It's not, but they did run
be.
police bikes like this.
Yeah, it's really cool. It definitely has that feel to it.
Yeah.
And how did you get started into bikes with sidecars?
I had one in college. I don't know, I just wanted to try it because it was something different. And I loved it. They're a lot of fun, and it's a different kind of riding, and you can drift them, and you can do things with them that I'm not a good enough rider to try on a two-wheeler, but for some reason I feel fearless on one.
Maybe your insurance isn't high enough, right? So would you say like this is one of the newest bikes you have in your
These are new. We sell these new.
Brand new.
We are a dealer for Ural.
Yeah, Ural.
These are Russian-made. Well, they were Russian-made due to the geopolitical problems that are going on.
Right.
They moved to Kazakhstan.
Okay.
And they're trying to get out of there over to Italy or Spain or someplace. But they're still making them. They've been making these since 1939. The factory was primarily for military motorcycles, but in the last 20 years they've been building primarily for the American market. And of course the quality had to come way up.
Yeah, all these safety regulations.
It's no longer a government contract.
Right, right.
So they're good. We got very happy customers. They're very niche market, very unique.
Yeah.
But
all these different colors, whatever color you want, John has it.
They make a wide variety of colors,
Wow.
special options. And the other unique thing about these is they are two-wheel drive.
Oh.
So there's a shaft from the motorcycle to the sidecar.
Okay.
And they will really go anywhere. They will go in deep snow, mud, you name it.
The accessory of the tires is pretty awesome. It makes it very rugged looking, and it's a nice.
Yeah.
I don't know.
They're rugged. They're simple. They're made to be fixed easy. They're kind of almost a modern antique in that regard.
I'd have to ask the wife, but I tend to go towards the red because maybe I like Indian red so much, so maybe that's
called. They call that garnet red.
Garnet red.
Yeah.
It's pretty awesome. Okay, so I'm gonna just do this where we can turn around and go like. There's also all these bikes in the middle of the room, and then by the way, there's also bikes all the way up around the perimeter of the room, all the way around. Oh, wait, this thing is huge. All the way. And then I think behind the Indian, I saw even more bikes. John, we may have to come back next week and do this again. Oh my God, and there's airplanes. This is crazy.